Okay, we're ready, guys. We are live. Let me make sure. Perfect. Okay, guys, we're good. Excellent, excellent. Let's get this ready. Double espresso today. Not a double espresso this morning. Been up since 4 a.m. Did a great call for Emmeline and the Pacific Islands as well. So I believe some of you may be tuning in. So welcome. All right, guys, are we ready? Just put in the chat, let me know that you're ready. France, nice. Where are you tuned in from? We're streaming live on YouTube as well. So if you're watching this in the recording, you're going to get a brief idea of what I do on a daily basis with the group. Bav, good to see you. Gold Coast, nice. London, UK. Junior, good to see you. Lionel in Strasbourg, France. Nice. Okay. Ready to go. Hope you've had a great weekend, everybody. Okay, so today we're going to map out and go over the charts. Peter, good to see you in Sydney. First and foremost, disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I am literally sharing with you my ideas of what I see. I am not a professional. I am somebody that is still figuring out the game, but at the same time, we definitely have figured out some strategies that have been working for us. And so, morning, Michael and Marketa. New Zealand in the house as well. And so it's very, very important to know that trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. So be extremely careful with what you're doing, okay? Again, the trade ideas that I look at here are what I would take, and I can be totally and utterly wrong. So you have to have risk management. And then I will give you, all I'm doing is basically giving you an idea of what I'm looking for and why. And already automatically I can see an area here which could be a possible sell happening. Let me just, that's a 30 pip move that could possibly happen shortly, imminently. I mean, I would wait for a little bit more of a close. So my scalping strategy, I'm a scalper, all right? So even when we're in an uptrend, I can take sells. It doesn't mean that I will all the time. And I understand the risk element with it, but I like to try and get anywhere from 5, 10, 15, 20 pips, okay? Reason why I wouldn't have taken that yet. There are certain areas that we identify that are potential. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the charts for you so that you can get an idea of what I'm looking at and how I take my trades and how to try and mitigate the risk as well. I've made many, many mistakes, many. I have blown accounts. I have gone on fantastic winning streaks and then within one day messed up again. So I'm hoping you guys will be able to relate. And if so, then we can figure this game out together. All right. I don't know why excellent. Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, so let's go straight to it. So I have a certain system that I like to go through of checklists. Number one, mentally, are you in the right place right now? If you're not in the right place mentally, you can trade and you can definitely make money, but there's a higher possibility of you making rash decisions that you wouldn't normally make. Make sure you're in the right place. If you've had arguments with people, you're having money, whatever's going on in your life, I have no idea, but make sure that you know that you're in the right headspace. The hardest thing to do is the best thing to do, but the hardest thing to do is to not trade, okay? Because of the dopamine that we have in our head, in our heads, forces us to get addicted to trying to take trades, even when we know we shouldn't. So the first thing is mentally are you in the right place? The second thing is that I then make sure that you have a trading plan. As I said, I've got a trading plan that I look and hover around, and that trading plan is a 1-to-1 ratio for scalping, and I look for a 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit. So I have, let's say I'm going to risk 0.25% for this. Well, if it goes past 20 pips in a sell, then I lose 0.25%. And this is a simple strategy that I've mapped out for many people that that works over a prolonged period of time. So it doesn't mean I'll win every trade, far from it. But if you stick to it consistently, you'll see. And I'm actually going to give trade ideas in the group this week, and we will record them. All right, we'll record them so that you guys can have an idea that if you have a strategy, that you can see how many losses, how many wins, and if we're in profit by the end of the week or not. Okay. So that's, do you have a trading strategy? Do you have a certain amount you're willing to risk per trade? How many pips is that you're going to be risking for that percentage? Are you, how much, and I always talk about percentages and pips rather than money. How much are you willing to risk in total for the day? And what is your target, your profit targets that you're aiming for, where you shut it down and you'll say, I'm done for the day. Okay, so you really need to start to understand that. If you don't, ask questions and we'll try and help guide you with that. The next thing I look at is Forex Factory. Now, today we have, let's go to today. Today we have a bank holiday in America, which means that during New York session, volume might be lower. It doesn't mean there won't be volume, but volume might be lower. However, I have never had any problems with trading when there's bank holidays. I haven't. So you can definitely look to take trades, but don't be surprised if it's just not moving as much. Okay. After that, I like to map out the Asian range. So I've deleted everything except for this little yellow zone here that I can see there is a potential push down and a breakthrough. I've deleted everything. I go to the 1 hour, I go to the Asian range. And I like to just put some lines for top of Asian, bottom of Asian, and middle of Asian, because I find that the London session respects those areas. So that is Asian high. Here is Asian low. Roughly. Here is 50% of Asian. Just simple things, but I find that they really help me. 50%. Okay, so I have those areas mapped out. We can also see that we are broken above all these previous Asian ranges that have been consolidating, and we are now bouncing above it. So do I foresee price just dropping down? I don't, but there are certain things that if I show you on the higher time frames may tell us otherwise. We are above the Oracle, which is good. Now I'm going to go and do my own analysis from the top down. Let's take a look at the weekly first. Let's turn the drawing off. Okay. You have last week and the week before. We had this area where price tried to break twice past this zone, wasn't able to, created a bear candle with a wick to the downside. Price came all the way up to test the open and came all the way down to take out the previous wick. Okay. Now we've got this new weekly that has already opened. We've already tested the open of this current weekly, and therefore we are bullish right now. So until I see price break, let me do it this way. Until I see price break this low here, I will possibly look for sells, but the longer sells, I may try and hold them more after this zone. So 2045, 625. If we see a push down after that, I believe then there is a high possibility to attack more of this wick and maybe even further down. Until then, overall, we're looking more at buys than sells as it stands. So I'm going to put weekly low. Okay. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to change that to a different color so that I don't get confused. Change it to this color and make that one dotted. There we go. Cool. Okay. So I know my weekly low as well. I'm actually going to put an alert around here. And I'll change that alert. So this is what I do with my alerts. Again. Oh, there we go. Weekly flipped about the break low. Cool. Okay, so I'm now going to turn on the cloud. Let me turn on the cloud and I can take a look, and I see the TK lines we have broken below, and the other TK line is all the way down at 1980. All right, that doesn't really tell me too much at the moment. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so now we're looking at the daily. This has been a really nice bounce around. If any of you saw what I mapped out in the last couple of weeks, let me turn this off a second. If you saw what I mapped out in the last couple of weeks, then there were kind of two trend lines that I could see that have been broken. We've got this area and we've got this area here, okay, to the upside. Once we came up, once we broke through this, retested it and dropped down, you could see we came to the next lower or created a new lower trend line. And that gave me good confirmation that when price came back down again, that this was an area to possibly look for buys. I know many people are looking for it to come down even further, but I could see that this was a really nice support resistance zone over here on the left. That was a strong area. And there were other traders more successful than me that were confirming this too. If you look at that on the weekly, you can quite clearly see that price had just done some really nice move. Plain and simple. Came down here. And now we've been bouncing around in this zone here, essentially. Now, if I go back to the daily, you can also see that on the daily, we had a downtrend as well that was clearly broken. I could possibly go from here like this and using the wicks. And you can see quite clearly when we got the breakout above, then price has been trying to push up into this zone as well. I'm not going to keep these all up. I'm not going to use them, but it's nice for you to just understand the overall trend. And the daily right now, if we turn off the drawings, you can see that we're attacking this top wick. If we see the daily come down to this area, then I believe sells are valid to try and come down to the 20-30 areas, but we really need to see this daily or potential the weekly to flip. Otherwise, we're only ever targeting the top half of of these candles on the left. Let's go to the cloud again, take a little look. We're above the cloud, we're above the oracle, I think, or just about. Let's go to the 12-hour and let's see what goes daily. Cool. There's nothing else I see on the daily. Let's go to the 12-hour. Great. Okay, cool. So now I can start mapping out some things. Let's go here. Let's go here. And we can see this 12-hour block at the top. That there is a high possibility of price getting stuck in this area. Now, when you see this brother engulfing setup on the 12-hour is so big, you want to try and dive deeper into this area so you can see, because sometimes price comes here and people will take the sell and it will go even higher up. So what I want to try and do is dissect this green candle, which is 140 pips. So I'm actually going to draw a line here instead, and I'm going to try and identify something else inside of that candle. Okay, so let me put this is a sell zone, possibly, but because it's a higher time frame, there's a high possibility of a bigger push into it and then reject, come back down. On the downside, we have something down here that I believe may well hold price up. on the 12-hour. So I changed that to green because that is a potential area that price could tap into and then reject off it. Now, news could make price just push straight through it at any time. Otherwise, what you normally find is that price would come in, drop below it a bit, come back up, tap into it again, and bounce around and leave a wick around that area. That can happen. Let's look at I want to see the fib tool here. Okay. So from this bottom area down here all the way up, you can see where the golden zone or the white zone is that I look for, that is of interest to me, where there is potential for a retracement back. Okay. So I have these areas identified, and that will coincide with the weekly flip as well. Let's go to the cloud. Take a look at the cloud. Cool. Let's go to the 8-hour. How long we got there? 15 minutes. Lovely. Now I'm only really, as a scalper, I'm only really concerned about that didn't work well, did it? I'm only really interested in this area here. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't identify areas down here, but it's such a big move that it's nothing of interest to me right now. All right. So I'm really focusing in on this zone. You can see quite clearly we've been stuck at this 8-hour zone that we haven't been able to break right here. I will draw a line there for the 8-hour. 8-hour, perfect. And on the downside, I don't see anything on the 8-hour. Now I will go to the 4-hour. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm starting to see. This is really interesting to me. Can you see this? This line here. Can you see this from here all the way up? Okay. This here is a move that is telling me that if we do get a rejection, you could see a engulfing candle push quite fast to the downside. We will try and see if there's areas or things that could cause that, and maybe go on the lower time frames to see if there's any candlesticks that we recognize, or I'll give trade alerts as well in the group chat so that you guys can keep an eye if there is something that's going to happen. The last thing I'm going to map out here is below this candle, all the way down to this brother engulfing here on the left, is a big drop. And I believe that if we do see price start to come through there, then we could more than likely hold a sell and at least catch 50 to 100 pips through this area. This is a really nice area here, but you need a close in this zone for it to push down. 4-hour, I don't see anything else on the upside. I don't see anything on the downside. I will turn the cloud on. We're above the cloud. Go to the 3-hour. If you have questions, guys, just chuck them in the chat. I'll try my best to answer. Okay, great. So now on the 3-hour, we have this area. You see it? This brother engulfing right here. We have 2 hours and 15 minutes left on the 3-hour candle. Okay, so let's do that. On the upside, we don't have anything else of interest. And if I just turn off the drawings again, you can see that the last 3-hour, there was a support, resistance, created at the top, no real top wick, and nice bottom wick, and we have taken out the bottom wick. So the next 3-hour, depending on how this 3-hour finishes, could do something similar, but we have 2 hours left of that. So that's kind of null and void at the moment. Let's go to the 2-hour. And again, you can see we've got the brother engulfing on the 2-hour as well. So I'm going to put that as a 2-hour. This is now a double confirmation. Plus we've got the Asian low that I would be more confident to take buys in and around this zone. So the first thing I look at now is if I'm looking to take a buy in and around this area, let's go with my 2020. Okay, my stop loss covers this entire zone and the Asian low as well. So this is a good area for me to look to take a buy. That is where, depending on volume, depending on if it's nearer to news, if it's near news, then I don't take it as often, but I will be looking at, and remember, spreads can play a part in this, but the area I'll be looking for is 2049.2. Okay. I have a 20 pip stop loss. There is a high possibility if this continues on the uptrend to be able to hold this even higher. But we are at the lower end of the Asian range as well. So you just have to be a little bit careful. So I'm going to leave that there. Something like that. Okay. It doesn't help us right now, but you know that if price starts to break down, plus we've got this yellow zone that I've identified, there's nothing going on between, which means more than likely you may well get a play around. If you get a breakout, you get a fast push down, which means when there's a fast push down, there's a higher possibility of a faster rejection to catch 20 pips and then get the heck out of there. Okay. On the 2 hour, Florin identified something the other day, and we have this 2 hour zone at the top. Okay. So this is a key area for me, and I think there's another one a little bit higher above that. How long we got left? 9 minutes. Perfect. So let's change that to 2 hour. Do this, this, and this. So that's a 2 hour zone. And I believe there's something just there as well. See it? Just hidden right at the top. That these are areas, if we start to see price coming up to it, then there may be a chance of rejection. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at the 1 hour. Excellent. We have two rally-based rallies here that are key areas that I would expect now price to get stuck, possibly. Remember, it can break through it. I was speaking to some of the team earlier about blackjack at the casino. Providing you go to the casino knowing you're not going to win every hand, but you can come out profitable, then that if you understand that, then you don't get emotionally attached to losing. And as long as you have your risk management, you don't go and play blackjack and play the entire amount of money that you have on one hand. Okay, but you understand exactly what you need to do to win and get out of there profitable. It's the same here. I don't see anything else in the 1 hour other than this 1 hour is starting to close really nicely. I love this candle. And so what I would like to try and see, if this candle stays where it is or a little bit higher, I would love to see price push up and then try and tap into this Asian zone here, which I believe could possibly give us, yeah, that's the 20 pips. That could give us 20 pips. We need to watch and see how this candlestick closes and identify something within this candle. If I go to the 2 hour, 2 hours confirming that as well. We had resistance, no top wick, bottom wick, price pushed up, came down, tried to take it, go back the opposite way, wasn't able to. It's ending as a bear candle, which tells me a push up, and still we could get a potential of touching here. However, remember, guys, you don't have to be the first one. You just have to make sure that you understand that you can still win the race and take money. We have tapped into 50% of Asian, so don't be surprised if something like this happens, comes here, and then goes boom like that. Okay, don't be surprised. Or it doesn't even go up. It just comes down to here and then shoots off, because as you've seen over the last, since even 5 a.m., when, by the way, TradeBuddy gave an alert about 3-4 hours ago, maybe even longer, on buys. Where are we here? Sorry, that was the other day. Let me go back to this. So even when we're looking around here, you can see our price has moved 130 plus pips near enough. So a retracement is valid, but we are bullish. We are extremely bullish. Let's go back to the 1 hour quickly. Yeah, the 1 hour's looking good. Let's go to the 45. 45 is looking to take out the wick already, so we have to monitor the next 5 minutes and see what happens. 30-minute. Okay, you can see this area here has, there's nothing, it's just pure green. The lower the time frame, the more it's just pure green, the more I think that if price breaks into this area, it's just going to fall straight through it. Okay, I've seen this many a times. The same to the upside. If we break above the Asian high, then I believe the 12-hour zone is possible, which means then we could possibly try and ride the buys and continue up 40 pips. On the 30-minute, I can see this area here. So now many people can make a decision. If you're looking to trade how I trade, then you may not want to get in at the very start. You may want to take a buy down here. I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for. It all depends on your risk element, risk management. But my stop loss covers both. So I think this isn't a bad choice. Now let's go to let me just look at the cloud again. Okay. There's one more thing I'm going to do here on the 1 hour. Get rid of that. Let me do this. Okay. So we've got a nice support created here as well on the 1 hour. Support, I'll always do support and resistance. I'll do white. Do that again. It doesn't want to play. Yeah, there you go. I normally do my support resistance predominantly on the 1 hour. So I've kind of got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confirmations here of price more than likely rejecting and not passing through this area. Doesn't mean it won't. It just means that there's confirmations for me that I'm confident to take a buy if I'm looking to take one there. We also have a resistance at the top here as well on the 1 hour, which is the Asian high. Okay, 30-minute. We have a lower area of support resistance again, which is nicely here. So we really want to break through that zone. You can see how this 1 hour is resistance as well. And you can see how this had a wick that went into it too. Other than that, I don't really see much else on the lower time frame. Let's go to, and you can see how this price has come up to this double rally-based rally and brother engulfing. Price has got stuck here, struggled to break it. Now, is it just having a breather, or has it actually genuinely stopped? And this is where it's going to start to make its descent. We don't know. So just be prepared for every alternative 20-minute. Okay, cool. So now we've got, oh, sorry, it's 30-minute. I've got all my areas mapped out. I am not really looking for much else at the moment. I just want to pay attention to the 20, 15. Okay, so there's a 15-minute here that has got stuck in the way. Can you see that? So now there's a high possibility that price won't break down as quickly. And how many pips are we looking at here? We are looking at about a 15 pip move. I'm not too sure if I'm as confident to take it now. All right, so the last thing I'm going to map is this. So we've got a little drop-based drop here. I'll do this in red. So you can see that on the 15-minute. Done. Let's go to the 10-minute. Okay, we've got a 10-minute here. And also at the top, can you see that one at the top? 10-minute. So now, if I just showed you the chart without mapping this out, you wouldn't quite understand what this all means. And it can be very confusing. It can still be confusing. You're looking at it right now. It makes sense to me. Okay. The more you're on the calls, the more it will make sense to you as well as to what I'm looking at. Now, if I go to, just lastly, the 5-minute. Okay, I'm done. Now I'll go back to the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour. I'm expecting to attack and take out at least 50% of this wick of this 1 hour candle. I would love to see price push up first. If so, I have 2 areas that I could potentially look to take a sell. Because I'm not wanting to take as much risk, I will not be taking the sell here. I will not be taking it there because price is right by it. But if price comes to this area here, okay, give or take. So I might give myself a little bit of breathing space for the lot size, sorry, for the spreads of your broker. I'll be looking for that move there. Now, my insurance is that I have a 10-minute and a resistance at the top, which means I may well take a second trade up here and change my stop loss accordingly as I'm watching. But I am looking for price to open, tap into here, come to here, and then I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to continue down. I don't know if it's going to go back up. We are bullish at the moment, so I just want to get in, get out, and take my pips and say thank you very much. Okay, so that's all I'll be interested in. Now, some of you may look to be taking a sell here. That's totally down to you. It could reject now and gone, and that's it. And I would have missed it. No problem. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'd rather miss it than take it and get it wrong. We've got two candles that are on the higher time frame that are new now, the 2 hour and the 1 hour. So this is the trade for me, this one here. Okay, that's what I'll be looking at. And I'll be looking at price trying to come down. That'll be the scalp I can identify right now. What we also want to do is then pay attention to how that will play for the 3 hour and for the 4 hour candle. The 4 hour candle has 2 hours left. Could it flip and continue to the upside? Of course it can. With news and everything going on, it has the ability to definitely do that. When we look at the 12 hour, we have only 2 hours left of the 12 hour, which means could the next 12 hour, this 12 hour tap into this 12 hour zone at the top again? Yes. Could it tap into it and then reject and give us that big engulfing candle to the downside? Definitely could. So a push all the way down to here might not happen for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. Okay. But there is that strong uptrend line. I'll draw it here, especially from like the bottom of this zone or here. This is such a strong uptrend line that I'm expecting something to engulf and come back down, and we'll try and figure that out as we go along. Let's go back to the 1 hour, take a little look. Looks like the rejection point was where I said here instead of the first one. As I said, this is not one that I would take as confidently because there's not a lot of pips to take. Ideally, if it doesn't move down any further lower, then I would still look to execute if price comes up. I would take my decision based on the 2 hour, which means providing we don't come any lower, then I'd like within the next the next hour and 57 minutes, if price comes up to here and then rejects, I believe there's a possibility of it coming back down again. Remember, it's a 2 hour candle. So otherwise, we are in a zone where there's not much else going on. We'll be feeding off scraps. And I would then wait for price to come down to any of these zones where there's a high possibility of rejections. And remember, if we're on an uptrend and you're looking to take sells, you're going against it, you have to be careful. If you're looking to take buys, you may be able to hold them longer. Okay, you may be able to hold them longer. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? Let's fib tool this area here. And you can see this, the two white lines are what I call my golden zone. And that is, everything's pointing to that area. Does anybody have any questions? No. Otherwise, you may not see a lot of volume because of the US bank holiday. So it could be boring. Spreads are really good on the broker right now. So yeah, I'm still sticking with my bias on this. I like this 2 hour sell. Yeah, price comes up to it. And then, as I said, insurance policy is around here. So again, as a scalper, there's no real rule book into how you should scalp. Everybody figures out a strategy that works for them. Let me give you an example of what I have been known to do. So if I took a sell here, let's say, to make it easier, a one lot size here, which is risking, I don't know, 0.25%, 0.5% as an example. Then as price comes up to this zone and I feel that strongly that it could reject, and remember, I'm going against the trend right now, so I may not do it, but I have been known to do this. Price does that. Now what happens is I took a one lot here and I'm in negative as price comes up. I take a two lot here, and then when price comes down, or sorry, let's say I take a one lot and price has hit the target right now. So let's see what happens. Let's say I take a one lot size here, another one lot here. Well, where these two dots are, if price comes back down to here, I can get out at break even. Or if I do a one lot here and a two lot here, I only need price to come down to around a quarter of the distance to be at break even. And if it comes down to halfway, then I'm in profit. And that's just something that I've done. Obviously, I know the risk element to it, but it's worked very nicely for me many a times. Let's leave this on the 2 hour, see what happens. And we've just got to be careful because we are overall bull market, and looking at this move, this is just a move that's come down to the 382 and rejected and continued up at the moment. So let's wait and see. But I do believe that we're going to get a rejection here. I've seen this many a times before. And if wrong, no problem. We know how much we're risking. We know our trade plan. We know what we're doing at the blackjack table, and we're good to go. Nobody have any questions? No. No. Hey, good to see you guys. Emmeline, good to see you. Mirko, good. Rack, how's it going? Did you recoup?
Yes, thank you.
Recalibrate? Talk to me, what's going on?
Just I'm really working on myself with my diet, with the fasting, and just putting myself in a better place to sit down and look at trades.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking my time, really, not taking impulse trades anymore. Just waiting for the market to come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And just literally just trying to enjoy it more by doing smaller lot sizes, and like you say, often is enjoying the drawdown, because if your analysis is right, then you shouldn't really be panicking about the trades that you're taking. So I've been really focusing on my entry points, because they used to be, I used to go in too early, then be in instant drawdown. And now what I do is I just look at the charts, and I look at, I seem to be listening more to myself than listening to my brain. So what my gut's telling me rather than what my head's telling me, because there's obviously a conflict going on constantly. So yeah, no, it's all the noise. I've just really filtering out a lot of the noise that's going on in my head, and I just seem to be in a place where I was when I first started looking at trading. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's a journey. It's definitely a process. It's definitely something that tests you. And even though you say you won't make the same mistake again, we do.
Mm-hmm.
And many look at that as a negative, but it's actually to change a habit. It takes time. It takes time. And the older we are, the harder it is to learn a language, right? And so this is really important. I think The key thing is to understand, there's a very, very good trader that has given me so much wisdom, and he talks of trading like gambling, like how you use your mind at the casino to be a professional gambler. And most people don't go to win every hand. They go with a strategy. And for instance, now some of you may have taken a sell here. Now some of you may close it early, some of you may take another trade, some of you it may flip and you may take profit early, or there'll be one or two that might just set it, put the stop loss, put the take profit, and just leave it. And the person that can do this, so look, I've identified 1, 2, 3, 4 trades here. If I'm risking 0.25%, then the most that I can lose today is 1%. I have no qualms with doing that. Nothing. There's no problem with doing that at all. All right. But, because of our emotions get in the way, the amount of people, I took the trade, but I got out early, or I didn't do this, because they don't have their own strategy. I'm not sat here taking trades that somebody else is telling me to do. I'm just sharing my strategy that works for me. And there's certain times I'll over leverage, certain times I'll do too many trades. I still fall into that category. But the more and more you do it, the more and more you focus on the habits and the disciplines. And I think that's really, really important for everybody to understand. As an example here, I could risk 0.25% for this trade, right? So 20 pips is 0.25%. Now I decide, you know what? I'm going to risk 0.5% now and change my stop loss to 40 pips. Okay. And I'm going to take a second trade here. So if this one loses now, I've lost 0.5%. Now this one, I might risk 0.5% and take a trade here for 20 pips. Okay. Now, so the worst case scenario out of this trade, out of taking 2, I'll lose 1%. Yeah, this makes sense for everybody. I lose 1%, but it's because if I'm watching it and I'm adjusting accordingly. Now, I may look at it and look at the 3 hour and look at the 3 hour has rejected hard and think, you know what? I don't even know if I will take another trade. I might stop it out. I might just shut it down and say, I think this is still a very bear market. However, the candlestick structure that I've got here and here is telling me I should take the shot. It's telling me I should take the shot. So I'm willing to risk 1% here. And then if price does break above, then I'll start to wait and analyze and see. Now, what is my overall risk for the day? I'm willing to risk 2% for the day maximum. All right, cool. So that means I can start to identify other areas that either I switch my analysis and say, hey, I got this wrong. We're buying now and we're just taking buys up to the upside. And I don't over leverage, but I stick to my plan, 0.25%, 0.5%, and just chip away at it. Or I look and I see that I could possibly take let me do this. I could take another sell up here. But again, I've been taking sells against a very bullish market, so I have to be careful. And so it just comes as you're trading that you start to recognize it. Obviously, I'm taking sells in a bull market right now. You should be using a lot lower risk. Yeah, we understand that. Unfortunately, there's new people that will not understand that, and they'll be right now in a trade that they're probably in 0.5%, 1% drawdown already right now. So when it does flip, or if it does flip, should I say, and they make 3% profit, 4% profit, it looks great, but actually it's only masking the issue of risk management. Now, why would I be more confident to take sells up here still? Well, I've got a 10-minute drop-based drop. I've got a resistance, and I've got the Asian high. That's why I'll take the second trade. Yeah, that's why. Now, looking at it and the way that it's moving, let's analyze this on the lower time frames. On the 5-minute, we've got this area here as well. You can see that price has hit once, twice, 3 times. Let's go to the 1-minute and just see for a second. Okay, let me look at. Okay, 30-minute. Perfect. Okay. So we're coming to the 15-minute candle. I'll be looking to take a second trade imminently, like now. Okay, this is what I would do. So I would have been the first one here. I would do double the lot size now. and within the next 40 seconds, I expect a retracement. Now I have a decision whether I will get out at break even, which could possibly be around here, something like that. Okay, let's move this here, put it that way. So I would be in, as I mentioned, and so I would have done double the lot size. We do this again. Let's just change this to the original, what we're talking about. Okay. So I would need price to come to probably be about here and be at break even. If it comes back down to this area, then I could actually be in profit and get the heck out of there. And maybe only take 5-10 pips. The trouble is most people, if they make 0.1, 0.2% profit, they can't handle that because of their account is so small. When you start trading with a 1.2 million account and you're looking at 0.2% is over 2,000, it's definitely more than enough for the day. You don't need to take any more risk. But that's what I'll be looking at. So this one, I might, like I said, if I stick to that plan that I said of now taking this risk to 0.5% on this one, and I did double the lot size in the other one. So the other one would be 0.5% as well, which is to this area. And now I'm looking at this. We go back to the 2 hour. And now you can see we're more than likely at break even, if not possibly in profit. Depends on what you did and your spreads, but that's what I would be looking at doing. Like this. And that's just how I scalp. Okay. Now, if you want to hold it, or there may be one or two of you that just took this one trade and you put your stop loss take profit and you just leave it, see if it's right or wrong. Okay. The reason why I was willing to do it, because the 15-minute had pushed so fast, no real top wick. When I said I'd hit the button, it was higher up, and that's why now you should be in profit. So then it's down to you whether you want to stay in the trade, get out, hold it, see what you're doing. As I said, I was expecting the 2 hour. If we stick to the original what we were looking at of this, then you're near enough at break even. Yeah, if you took the second trade, now you're done. You should be done. At least, I think, 0.25% if you doubled up on the second one. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. So other than that, that's it. Like I said, we're kind of feeding off scraps in this zone at the moment until volume comes in and we see some bigger movements. But that was if you were in drawdown then and you got it. Anybody been trading? Anybody take any trades? That's what I would have done. Nice. Yano took 10 pips. Well done. Now, where could it come down to? Let's look at the 15-minute. 15-minute could come back down to this wick possibility. Could it break all the way through? It could. But that's essentially it, guys. Like I said, we're bullish overall. So trying to hold this out to drop down lower is risky. Stephen, 15 pips. Adrian, 0.8%. Nice. Well done. But hopefully this dissects and gives you a bit more of an idea as to what I look at and how I scalp. Yeah. Let's go to the 1 minute a second. Let's just tidy it up a little bit and see. Yeah, I'll be out. I'll probably get out of the trade. It's not, especially if you took the second one there, I'd more than likely take what the market is giving me today, and that is it. If you want to try and hold it and see. I mean, if I turned off the drawings and looked at it, then yeah, all I will be looking at is the target of today, trying to aim for 2049 if we break below this area, and then getting a rejection at 2049.2 roughly. Otherwise, a break above 2057.4, and I think we are really attacking the wicks here and here to take liquidity, and then coming into our 2073 zone. But you can see the reason why I was looking at sells more than buys. Yeah, you could have taken buys. It's hard to predict that this thing is just going to go straight up and continue that far. The reason why sells is because resistance, no top wick, created the bottom wick. Basically, this is the Asian, retested near enough the open, not far the open of the previous 2 hour. Created a wick to the downside, but this is still a bear candle. And so this one just has another go at trying to break that area. Looks like it's not able to. And now you can start to see that both of those trades are in profit now. So yeah, if you took both of them, you're good. That is it. But I would like to see that try and come back down into this area now. Coolio. Done. Nothing else to show, guys. That is, this one here is a 20 pip move nearly. I might have done it. I wasn't too sure. I didn't see, but nearly. Yeah, there you go. That's near enough a 20 pip move, 18 pip move. Plus you got this here as well. So we're good. Any last questions anybody has? Otherwise, that's it. I don't want to be on here any longer. I like to scout 20 minutes. If you haven't taken any trades in these areas of interest to you, mark them out, see, just draw it. Put alerts, don't even take trades, just see if it was right or wrong. It's like, damn, actually this theory works. And remember, you can't always get it right. You can't always get it right, but if you understand probabilities, then there is a high chance that if you stick to your strategy and backtest it and it's consistently winning more than losing, then stick to your strategy. Okay, guys. The old me back in the day, I would have been looking, if this thing's pushing up, I'm buy. Let's go. We're going. That's typical retail trader. Cool. So as I said, 15-minute, we're coming to the wick now. Got the body here. I'm done. I'm not even trying. The market's given us some pips today, so we're good. Cool. Last chance. No questions. Everybody's good. Who's been trading then? Who's caught some profit today? Whether on this call or not. All good. Nice, Nikki. Rat, good. Nice. Cool. Coolio. Be doing the same tomorrow. For YouTube, I won't be doing it every day. Alexandra, lovely to see you done. 0.2%, bless. But I won't be doing it on YouTube every day, but this is for you guys. Also, we have the Trade Buddy software launch today, so super excited about that and excited for all of you guys. Trade Buddy did give an alert today for us. It gave an idea of a trade. Trade Buddy. I only use it for gold, but a lot of people are having success with UCAD. At 4:38 a.m. check time, it gave a buy at, where are we? Well, yeah, nice. Yeah, so it gave a buy here, which would have given you about 16, 20 pips. That one may not have actually been in profit. That one may have, I didn't see it at that time. I wasn't awake then to trade it, but that one may not actually have been in profit. I'll have to check in the group chat. Otherwise, yeah, it gave some unbelievable trades the other day. It was like, if you'd held the one it gave on Friday, it was like 110 pips, I believe. It was really cool. But there's parameters within Trade Buddy that you will be able to be part of the group chat, and you guys will be able to see. I let the cat out of the bag the other day. Yes, there is a app, and in the app there's guidelines as well. So, and there's a full chat in there as well, so you'll be able to ask questions. Remember what I said. Just really pay attention to this as well, guys. This trade. Remember what happened. It pushed down first, but didn't push down far enough for me to say there's no trade. We still have well over 50% of this wick to possibly attack. Now, here's what you want to pay attention to. Price pushed up and we identified ETM area. Could we have identified anywhere else? Of course, but it's very difficult to judge, and we may have wanted to wait for the 10 minutes to get a real clean entry, but it didn't touch there. If we go to the 10, did it hit the wick of the 10-minute, it actually did. So maybe you want to pay attention to the wick rather than the body, which means you would have got a better entry and that would have been your shot. For me, I don't do the wicks anymore. I wait for the body. Unless I see, why did I say take the sell here? Because of the 15-minute was about to close and there's no top wick. In terms of this move, we've now been 25 minutes. So I said, this is a 2-hour candle move that I'm playing off of and my analysis. So this might take another hour. If it was to come back down, it might take another hour. And that's where you have to just have the patience to be able to do it. Okay, guys. But like I said, if you took the 2, you're good. If you had the 1, you might have been able to get out or break even. Otherwise, if you're still in it, no problem. Have stop loss, take profit, see if it works or not. And then be prepared for something. Today, I'm expecting something to go like this back down to this area. An engulfing candle. I'll try and do an arrow instead. And we'll come back later. I'll send screenshots in the group chat. But I am expecting something to push down to here. Okay. That's just because of this candlestick structure that I've recognized before. And I'm very curious to see if it happens. It doesn't mean it definitely will. When could this happen? Well, it could be the next 3 hour that creates a brother engulf into the downside. The next 2 hour could be a brother engulf into the downside, which the next 2 hours in 1 hour and 34 minutes. The next 3 hour is in 1 hour and 34 minutes. The next 4 hour is in 1 hour and 34 minutes. And look, do you remember what I said to you guys before? This is the last thing I'll share with you. And then you guys, I know you guys will recognize this, okay? See this wick here of this just one bear engulfing candle, or I say engulfing, but a bear candle and the wick here, okay? Has this one closed below it? No. Did it break? Even if it wicked, did it close below it? No, 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 no. Now we're looking at the top side. Did any of these break above it? No. Therefore, we now have that. Let me do it this way to make it a little bit better for you so it's not as messy. Therefore, we have big candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles or 4 candles that can't break it like this. And then what do we normally see if it doesn't break it? Where there is a resistance, high possibility down. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to continue down. It could mean down and then break through and continue up, because that's what the fib tool is. 50% of the fib and everything else coincides with that. Plus, you've got the war and the news going on. But so many things right now. If this 4 hour doesn't close anywhere in around this zone, then I am looking at price to maybe everyone will push up to this top side and then an engulfing breakdown. This is a common pattern, a common theme that I've looked at. Use risk management. Remember, we can't get it always right. Look at this is now playing out nicely. Check this out, 15-minute. Watch this 15-minute. Many of you that know me know that if you're a real scalper with good spreads, I would be looking at potential. Let me just double check. I would sit and wait right now. There is another opportunity. This is how I scalp. There is another opportunity of 10 pips here at this point that I'll be looking to take a potential sell. Now, we've got to be careful because there's 1 hour 46 left of this 15-minute candle that it could flip and continue up. But I would look for a sell anywhere around here now that I will be looking to try and catch another 10 pips if I am within my quota of what I'm trying to look for the next 15-minute candle to tap into that again. Okay. I'll stay on for another 2 minutes, 3 minutes, see what the 15-minute does, and then we're done. Similar thing happened over here. See it? A little push up and then down. Doesn't mean it definitely will, but there's a common theme that I've seen many, many times. Alexandra, it's nice to see you. Dobre ráno.
Dobre ráno, David. Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here.
I actually went to the Shisha Lounge on my own yesterday. It was very sad.
We must come.
Anytime, you know that. Yeah, I'll be looking at now. You see there's 30 seconds left. I would hit the button, me personally, there to try and catch 10 pips down. That's it, guys. That's scalping over. Let's see what happens. And remember, if you've hit your target already, there's no need to take these trades. I'm not actually taking this, just so you know. My MetaTrade is up. I have no intentions. I've hit my quota for the day. And I have been burnt many a times by going back into the market when there's obvious trades, getting away with it, and all of a sudden one day, boom, get it wrong. And all the profits in that day and previous days or weeks just gone instantly. So I'm just trying to give you an idea of different things that I look at if you're looking to try and scalp. And remember, scalping is not for everybody. Scalping is definitely for personality types that like this type of way. There's some people that don't, so maybe you might want a different strategy on higher time frames. So depending on your spreads will depend on how many pips you're at. It's roughly 5-6 pips here. Done. Now, if it flips and continues up, it just creates a rally-based rally to the upside, and then we're just going to continue to the upside. So just be careful of that. Because it's a 15-minute candle, it can happen very, very quickly, a push down or a flip. All right, guys. Well, look, I'll post in the trading chat. Today we've got Mr. Bugs that'll be sharing the overview as well with TradeBuddy and the launch. I look forward to seeing you on that call. Any other questions, put them in the chat of the Telegram, and I'm very, very excited. Hopefully you caught some pips today. Otherwise, hopefully you've learned from the way that I break down the chart myself, and hopefully this has added a little bit to your armory. If not, then I'm sure you'll figure out something that works for you if you stay persistent with it. All right, guys. Cool, yeah. Send in love. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Don't overtrade.